very warm welcome to Boss's Day Out. It's a show that brings you an eminent personality and gets them together with a very exciting set of wheels, which is of course where I come in. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patkar. It's time to meet today's bosses. Now, some of you have probably recognized the car I'm in. It is the Audi A6 sedan, and it's very apt given who we are meeting today. So before I introduce you to our guest, let me tell you that he is just as versatile as this car. On Boss's Day Out today, we're meeting Mr. Harinder Sikka. Now, he's not your typical corporate, even though many of you would know him from Piramal Enterprises. Besides being a corporate citizen, he has many other feathers in his cap. He's a filmmaker, he's an author, and he's also a former soldier.
Harinder Sikka is truly a multifaceted man. He is a former lieutenant commander from the Indian Navy who has a flair for writing and has written over 100 articles in leading Indian newspapers on the issues relating to national security, health, intellectual property, and on trade-related aspects. He has also written a novel titled Calling Sehmat. A master at balancing his work and personal life, something we all crave for. Harinder is certainly a man of many talents.
So on the show, we'd like to always sort of go back to the beginning. So give us a quick sense of, your childhood, where you grew up.
So I grew up in a very interesting place. My parents came from Pakistan post-partition in very trying kind of circumstances.
Yeah.
And we shifted to a place which is historic in many manners. It's called Sabzi Mandi, Basti Punjabiya. It's kind of a refugees colony. And I grew up there in a small gully kind of thing, and very struggling kind of past, hardly any income, and yet my parents brought me up in a convent for first 5 years. Then they couldn't afford, so I was shifted to Ludlow Castle, then a government school, but one of the best possible, a model by itself. So that is a place where I emerged. In those days, I used to stammer, and small kiddo, but I used to go to Gurdwara because that is a place I used to get a free halwa, prasad. So I used to get a lot of it. I used to seek and demand and take a lot of it. And my mother used to be very surprised that I am very religious. And she used to ask me, what have you learned? You go to Gurdwara every morning. So I used to tell her that Guru Tegh Bahadur Asi Mariye. So this is in stammering language. So she used to feel very surprised. Kya mangta jaake? What is he asking? Mariye, why should? So for first few months this continued, and people would laugh it off and so on and so forth. Then she took me to Gurdwara, that who's teaching me this Asi Mariye? And then the Bhaiji over there explained it to her that he's saying Tegh Bahadur Simriye, not Asi Mariye. But I couldn't speak. But possibly while asking for Asi Mariye, I learned how to die.
And did it actually result in you being religious later, this initial
No, I believe in teachings. Religion never takes you to
spiritual,
God.
not religious. That's not the right question.
Religion takes you to materialism more often than not.
True.
And when I joined the Navy in 1979, soon after my college.
So where did the Navy idea come from first?
So I appeared for NDA exam during my school days and failed. But when I joined college and all these incidents happened with me, I appeared for the UPSC exam by paying for the entrance form 26 rupees. and I was amongst the top 50. It was in 79, therefore, when I was joining the Navy as a cadet in Cochin, then called Cochin. The lesson that I learned from my mother was to stay with me and stays with me forever. While seeing me off, she said that it is possible that you may face emergency situations. You are in military. If it so happens, make sure you receive no wound on your back. गोली पिट पे नहीं लगनी चाहिए.
I mean, you went straight into that situation. Did you have any expectations? Did you have any idea what would, life in the Navy be like?
I had no knowledge. Prior to that, during college days, you might find it a little funny because I used to feel very hungry. I used to play a lot. I was a combined university boxer, and the diet had to be very phenomenal. So I joined the NCC. खाने को बहुत मिलता था during the daytime. My pocket money would finish in the first 4-5 days. And the DTC bus pass is all I used to have. And I couldn't ask parents more. And we had limitations. My parents had my younger brother to take care of, and family, and so on and so forth. And my father would walk 10 kilometers a day in the evening so that he would save the bus fare and look after my need for fruits. I used to love them. So having said that, I joined NCC, but I enjoyed doing paratrooping in NCC. I did some most tough rafting, the snow-scaled peaks which we climbed, and that is the time when I became the best cadet in NCC. The then Prime Minister Morarji Desai gave me an award for that.
So that's where that little introduction to the defense.
So that was my first
life came in.
Entry, which was meant by somebody else, by the angels.
Yeah, it was pre-written in that sense. In fact, you mentioned a few things there that I want to talk about in some detail, but I know we need to get going as well. So we in any case have a special car to ride in today. So maybe on the way as well we can continue our conversation as we drive through, because Delhi traffic being what it is, I think it's best to get a move on. That's the car that we are going to be moving around in today. It's the A6 sedan, obviously from Audi, and so it is the executive sedan, if you will. So it sort of fits in a way to our requirements, but of course the idea is to have a drive and continue our conversation like I said. So would you like to drive or should I drive? Off we go. So when you took the route of premature retirement, once you had made that decision and you knew you were doing it, what does the road ahead look like? What was your first thought of what you'd like to do?
I joined the company here for some time, soon after my leaving. And then in 94, 1st of October 1994, I joined Piramal. And I don't think there was a better company. This was gifted to me by the Almighty.
So what was the role that you joined as? I mean, what was it that attracted you to it at the time?
I knew Piramal personally, so I knew that this company will have ethics which will be worth living for. So I wanted a steady, solid base.
So at Piramal when you joined, You said 94. What were the responsibilities? What were you involved with at the time?
So
because it's a diversified business.
Those days,
so.
And even today, the license Raj in pharmaceutical industry continues. Unlike other industries which have one odd company to one odd government, state, ministry, whatever to look after or take care of or what have you. The pharmaceutical industry has many husbands, 7, 8. Multiples. So this grouply suffers from these issues. In those days, we had just about come out of license Raj. The problems were even more. And our licenses would get stuck. We were exporters. We were new entrants to pharmaceutical field, and we were aiming to be amongst the top 5. Who would have heard that a pharmaceutical industry, a company which is manufacturing drugs, will file a PIL against a serving health minister? Will take up spurious drugs cause to such an extent that the media will join hands and expose the menace of spurious drugs all across. We ran a campaign against armed forces buying substandard drugs from companies which they themselves had delisted a dozen of times in few years, but still continued. What forced them to continue? So the company's stand that it shall hold my stand was not an ordinary.
And it changed a lot of things for the industry itself. I mean, eventually what you did, and it was recognized. I mean, I want to also hear about the award.
So the
efforts were recognized by...
The efforts were recognized by none less than, I was the second Indian to be awarded anti-spurious, anti-counterfeiting award. That certificate is put up there. Initially, as I said, this life is full of miracles. So I was possibly built by the angels up there, trained to fight certain battles within myself. So the book came while I was in Kargil. Why did I go to Kargil? That itself is an amazing story. I thought that, Fauj ka namak khaya hai. And I have left the Navy much prematurely. So there must be something that I can be doing for them, back for the country and back for the soldiers. So I went as an embedded journalist. And what I learned in that, I thought I was a brave man, but what I learned in that terrain was that here was a lady, code named Sehmat, a Kashmiri Muslim woman who spied for India, married a Pakistani. In the process, what she did, you will see in a film in a new film.
I was going to ask you about that.
Being produced by Times of India, Jangli Pictures, and Dharma Productions, Karan Johar, titled Razi, with Alia Bhatt. So I thought that, I was a brave man till I saw this story, until I wrote about the book. What she did. But it took me 8 years to write, 2 visits to Pakistan. And still I was grappling with facts. So bare minimum facts, say 20-30%, and rest of my imagination. And this is how it would have happened, because nothing comes out in a hurry, in an easy manner. Plus, Dr. Farooq Abdullah told me that if you disclose too many things, much risks can happen to people down there. So I took his advice and fictionalized most of it. But those few things which are facts are nerve-wracking.
Astonishing.
It's not that one is brave. It's that circumstances which make you brave. Which build you up in a manner in which you need to build your foundation. Navy played a big role. Admiral Jain played a fantastic role. Ajay Piramal literally nurtured me to stand against all odds. And then came Sehmat.
another person that I like to always follow and make some time for is golf. One of the favorite places like to spend time there for the Delhi Golf Club.